A new student organization is coming to campus. I'm Nayeli Lopez, and I have that story coming up on Update News.
In addition to the lights, there are 2 new projects to add even more technology to the top of our street light poles. I'll have that story coming up.
I'm William Yap on campus where the skies are gloomy, but the good news is healthy to breathe the air again. In a few moments, I'll show you how the smoke from the campfire left the Bay Area.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Kaylee Lawler.
And I'm Jonas Elam. A new club on campus is working to raise awareness about the struggles Central American migrants are facing at the U.S.-Mexico border. It's called Semillas de Centroamérica, or Seeds of Central America, and was created by students who represent various Latin American countries that have been underrepresented until now. Nayeli Lopez has more on the new student organization.
About a year ago, senior global studies major Jennifer Guzman and alumna Estefania Bautista started the conversation about the lack of knowledge about Central American people and their identities here at San Jose State University. In order to engage in discussion, the Semillas de Centroamérica Club held their weekly meeting here at a community conversation about the refugee caravan that is crossing more than 7,000 Central American refugees across the Mexico border.
And it's very important to highlight what is happening right now with the caravan, because it does matter that it's Central American communities that are being affected.
Some members do not identify as Central American, but acknowledge the need for discussion and education on Central American struggles, and the need to combat racial divide in Latin America.
I think as an ally, I feel like it's my duty to come collect these people, and be no, this is actually xenophobic.
Guzman is working on the Constitution to become an officially recognized student organization, or RSO. They hope to engage in community conversation, plan events and programs for students to learn more about Central American history. On campus, Nayeli Lopez, Update News.
The contentious fight over immigration continues at the U.S.-Mexico border as hundreds of Central American immigrants seeking asylum try to make their way to the United States. From Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador began their journey early October as a caravan. Students at San Jose State are trying to do their part to help. Student advocates for higher education are partnering with People Without Borders, a Bay Area coalition to deliver supplies to those seeking asylum at the border.
For Sahi doing this part is just, giving them support, and that they're not alone, that they got help from this side of the end.
Students who wish to donate can drop off items at the Chicanx Latinx Center at the Mesa Engineering Program. Members connected to the caravan will deliver the supplies at the border. Student advocates for higher education will collect the donations until the 6th of December.
People are still recovering from a deadly fire that affected everyone in the Bay Area. Plumes of smoke blanketed the skies, but strong winds carried them away. William Yap is live on campus where the air looks a little different. William, how's the weather out there?
Jonas, the weather is great. We're getting a little bit of a break from the rain, which is a lot better than breathing toxic smoke. Experts say breathing that kind of smoke was like smoking a pack of cigarettes.
This is getting bad.
First responders have been battling the campfire in Butte County since November 8th. It was fully contained Sunday morning and is now known as the deadliest wildfire in California history. Back at school, students and faculty were exposed to horrible air quality from the fire, about 200 miles north. Environmental Studies senior Jamie Wilt had to wear a mask to breathe because of her asthma.
I would say that I'm not sleeping as well. I can't exercise really because my doctor told me not to.
On the Environmental Protection Agency Air Quality Index, parts of the Bay Area were an unhealthy red. This photo taken by NASA shows an aerial view of the smoke's path. The cause and effects of the smoke became a heavily discussed topic for the Meteorology and Climate Science Department.
And so the flow around it was clockwise like this, and that brought airflow from the Chico area, the Paradise area, all the way down to the Bay Area, all day, every day for 2 weeks.
SJSU school administration canceled classes for a few days. The smoke covered the Bay Area for 2 weeks until rain entered the forecast. Students and faculty traded in a mask, for an umbrella.
Well, I mean, it's great to have rain. Usually, California doesn't even get a lot of rain, but especially now with the fires, just to clear everything out.
The air quality in the Bay Area is now at a healthy green. Bridger says the storms were essential in clearing out the unhealthy air.
Then the storm approached, the winds picked up, they blew the smoke out of the valleys back off towards the north, and then the fresh air came in off the Pacific with the rain associated with it.
The Camp Fire is now 100% contained. However, this was California's most destructive fire. According to CAL FIRE, nearly 19,000 buildings are destroyed, and more than 150,000 acres are burned, which is bigger than the city of Chicago. The death toll is currently at 88, but with many still missing, that number might grow. Live on campus, William Yap, Update News.
Thanks, William. As we saw, after 11 Spare the Air days and some rain, the air quality is healthy once again, and the Butte County fire is now 100% contained. Although, people were not the only ones who had to take precautions. Our furry friends were also susceptible to the unhealthy air. Pet owners were warned to limit the amount of time dogs spend outside. The self-proclaimed corgi lady of SJSU did just that.
Yeah, we actually had a very tough time because of the air quality. We actually cut down our walks. Instead of 2 hours twice a day, we did 1 hour twice a day.
Veterinarians advised owners not to have their dogs overheat during playtime, which would allow them to breathe in the bad air. The highly anticipated rain helped clear the smoky air, and dogs are able to roam around freely.
Most college students could receive hundreds of dollars from the government for groceries, but only a small amount actually apply for the money. Reporter Lindsay Boyd is live in the newsroom to tell us more about how students can get that money. Lindsay?
There's a federal food stamp program called SNAP that's designed to help hungry students. And many at SJSU qualify for it and don't even know it.
Carla is like many students at San Jose State University.
First of all, I didn't know what the food stamps was or anything, but my roommate told me about it.
She's studying to get her master's degree by day, but needs help putting food on her dinner table by night.
I don't have enough for food.
So she turned to the federal food assistant program called CalFresh, or SNAP. Now she gets almost $200 per month for food.
Well, it's really helpful because right now I'm not working.
Marco Mollenhoff is the one that helps SJSU students apply for CalFresh.
Students don't identify themselves as being food insecure, or they're just not in the right frame of mind, and sort of the iron is not hot for them to strike and finally apply.
Mollenhoff encourages all students to apply, especially considering California State University Chancellor's Office estimates 40% of college students are food insecure.
That are eligible for this, it's an untapped resource.
According to a recent study by the CSU system, about 68% of college students are eligible for SNAP, but only 5% actually use them. Financial aid liaison Marie Silva says there are exemptions that could also help students get CalFresh, like if they're on Cal Grant.
And what I do here is just really help them navigate through the application. It's fairly simple.
However, some students say that they feel uncomfortable asking for help.
It's just something that's stigmatized, oh, food stamps is for poor people or people that don't have a job.
Mollenhoff says not to worry and that there are many students who need the help.
Signing up for CalFresh Money is fairly simple. The application takes about 15 minutes, and students can go to the financial aid office or the Health and Wellness Center if they need help with the online application. Live in the newsroom, Lindsay Boyd, Update News.
Thanks, Lindsay. A call to boycott the San Francisco Giants is over. Owner Charles B. Johnson came under fire after making a $2,700 donation to controversial Senate candidate Cindy Hyde-Smith. The Republican won a tight race in Mississippi this week, even though she had made remarks perceived as racist. Civil rights attorney John Burris and San Jose State alumnus Dr. Harry Edwards called for a boycott of the baseball team. Johnson called for the boycott to end, saying the Giants owner condemned the racist remarks and asked for a refund of his donation.
Most of us don't give a second look at the streetlights that illuminate dark roads, but two different areas of government want to take advantage of their convenient locations. Both ICE and the city of San Jose want to install their hardware on top of street poles. Kunal Mehta has the story.
As the end of the year approaches, the days are starting to get shorter and streetlights are turning on earlier. And while streetlights are normally high up, out of our minds, they are being used in 2 new ways that are making headlines. Reporters from the news website Quartz reviewed federal documents and found that the DEA and ICE purchased technology that can hide surveillance cameras in streetlights.
The government has a right to search people as long as it doesn't violate their reasonable expectation of privacy. And when you are driving down the street, you have no expectation of privacy.
There's no evidence that the cameras have been installed in any lights yet.
If you have that videotaped or whatever, then it's going to jeopardize whatever possible adventures you might have or future opportunities.
The city of San Jose has a different idea for streetlight use. San Jose wants to spread Wi-Fi using public street poles like the one behind me to spread internet to the 95,000 San Jose residents who currently lack home broadband access. But the plan was halted when the FCC rolled out new rules regarding 5G cell deployments back in September. San Jose is now appealing the FCC's decision along with 20 other cities across 4 states.
FCC's ruling mandate that the city needs to work with them, just collect very minimum fee under market rate.
In the meantime, you might want to notice the lights because they could soon be monitoring you. In San Jose, Kunal Mehta, Update News.
A new law will clear your criminal records of some previous cannabis-related offenses. A student group organized a discussion panel to give more information on the process. Lavetta Jackson has more on this story.
A new law will allow those with previous cannabis convictions from 1975 to 2016 to be dismissed or redesignated. An SJSU social action group called Students Against Mass Incarceration, also known as SAMI, put together the event to raise awareness of the law.
Further ado, please join me in welcoming California Assemblymember Rob Bonta.
About 90 people registered for SAMI's first event held in the Student Union Theater on Wednesday.
Besides being a student, we are people, and people of color, we also feel that pain. We see what's going on every day, and we're just here to speak up and hopefully make a difference.
The passage of Assembly Bill 1793 on October 1st was a big win for those convicted. Santa Clara County was one of the last counties to put the law to use.
The SAMI campaign's goal is to educate students and other residents on their cannabis rights. This new law is a big step in breaking down the social barriers of those convicted.
They might have to take another day off work to go to court again. Why? Why? It's not necessary. Let's make it easier.
Students took notes and asked questions of the panel following the presentation.
But in our county, we were very proactive in identifying anybody who was potentially serving a sentence for an eligible offense immediately after Proposition 64 passed, and making sure that we were filing petitions for all those people.
The Department of Justice has until July 1st, 2019 to run their records to determine eligibility, and the DA has a year to object. By the end of July 2020, everyone eligible can have their records expunged. On campus, Lavetta Jackson, Update News.
When we come back, Jose Gavea will be here with a look at arts and entertainment. People gathered at a local high school to celebrate American Indian Heritage Month.
And students learn how to create delicate pieces of art. Update News will be back in 30 seconds.
At San Jose State University,
we discover who we want to be. For ourselves,
for our families,
for our communities.
Different and unexpected.
Begin here.
At the heart of a transforming valley, in a city that is tough and beautiful.
We are Spartans.
What powers us changes our world.
And now we have Jose Gavea with A&E.
So as American Indian Heritage Month comes to a close, has the arts and entertainment world been celebrating?
Yeah, so San Jose residents recently actually had a chance to experience Native American culture here in our hometown.
That's beautiful.
The month of November is a time to be thankful. It's also a time to celebrate Native American heritage. Viviana de la Peña has more on the story.
Music, art, and dance were used to welcome National American Indian Heritage Month.
The community of San Jose celebrated National American Indian Heritage at Yebra Buena High School during the first weekend of November.
We bring all different nations, tribes together to celebrate, and so we do like exhibition, and we have people come out and do their dances or their songs.
According to National Archives, former President George H.W. Bush had approved a joint resolution in 1990 that designated the month of November as National American Indian Heritage Month. Sculpture and ceramic vendors showcased their wares to the community. Every detail of their work shined a light on a piece of Native American history.
I started making furniture for fun. And then one day I said, what if I incorporate the culture? And it came out with pretty amazing pieces of furniture.
Among the vendors, many of them help Native communities in Mexico. Lisette Calderon, resident of San Jose, says she helps Native people in Mexico by bringing their handcrafted jewelry and selling it at events.
Buy jewelry from them, I bring it here and I help them sell it. It helps their communities, it helps them provide food, schools, anything that they need.
It is a celebration of diverse cultures and traditions. In San Jose, Viviana de la Peña, Update News.
And now we'll look into how much money people spent over the holidays. Online shopping is at a record high. Thanksgiving weekend sales soared on the web in between Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Data from Adobe Analytics showed shoppers' spending peaked almost $8 billion. Some students at San Jose State stuck with online shopping instead of going to the store.
I don't know, I don't really do Black Friday, but I do Cyber Monday because it's like easier and less hectic than like having to go out.
But it was still a late night hustle for online retailers. Shoppers spent almost $2 billion between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. before calling it a night. The holidays have arrived with San Jose once again with Christmas in the Park, but this year the trees and displays will not make it to see the new year as they will be packed up early. Kaylee Lawler has more on the story.
Despite recent rains, one can feel the holiday vibes coming from Plaza de Cesar Chavez as Christmas in the Park lights up downtown area.
Every year my parents and I always come to Christmas in the Park, just like early December, just to walk around, let the seasons like soak in.
Only this year the festivities will end sooner than usual, with the displays wrapping up the day after Christmas. The executive director of Christmas in the Park says they are accommodating a request made by the city of San Jose and San Jose Sports Authority to close 1 week earlier in order to make room for college football championship activities here in downtown San Jose. The headquarters for the Bay Area Host Committee is set across from the park, and activities leading up to the December 31st game at Levi's Stadium will be held here. Christmas in the Park organizers say the nonprofit will be compensated for any loss of revenue and expenses associated with the early closing. But some guests are disappointed to hear the park's short run this year.
Some of us can't make it on the day of, so at least like a day or two after Christmas Eve, I think that should be enough. But closing down early, I think it just kills the opportunity for like a lot of people to come here and see like what downtown San Jose has to offer.
For others, they won't be affected as much, like the Hot Gourmet Coffee Company.
Because we have the two locations, it's not that big of a worry for us here. That yes, we're closing the lodge a bit earlier than most years, but we'll actually have the cottage open for longer than most years.
Over the past 3 years, Christmas in the Park has seen an increase of visitors, with 2017 being their new record of 750,000 visitors. With the shorter duration, organizers are expecting a slightly lower turnout this year, but still plenty of fun. In San Jose, Kaylee Lawler, Update News.
The turkeys are cooked and now Christmas lights are up. San Jose's Great America kicked off Christmas season 3 years ago at the opening of Winterfest. The annual Christmas tradition transforms a theme park into a white, wintry wonderland. Visitors can enjoy roller coaster rides, live performances, and a chance to meet interesting characters. Winterfest also provides Christmas-themed activities for kids.
Things that they have, like writing a letter to Santa and cookie decorating and all those, and they have shows, so all of that we think is fun for the kids.
Great America also provides part-time jobs, which many SJSU students take on during the holiday season. The park will remain open until December 31st. Instead of having colored pencil shavings and wet paint, aspiring artists could give shape to their imaginations through a sculpture. San Jose residents choose to use clay as their art base instead of canvases and paintbrushes. Artists concentrating on their sculptures can be seen through the glass entrance of Higher Fire Clay Space and Gallery. The downtown San Jose art space is used for ceramics classes and, in other cases, a gallery to show off their creations during events such as First Fridays.
It's crucial in problem solving, just in thinking differently, being able to see and understand things differently. It's a different way of communicating.
Students start off with a flimsy chunk of wet clay. Once actually forming the object they aim to create, their sculptures are then fired once to harden the clay, and another time, once adding gloss to perfect their creations.
If you follow your passion, you're never going to be wrong. If you deny that, you're going to be lost your whole life and not be of any use to anybody on the planet.
Higher Fire attracts all types of ceramicists. Some come here to create cute coffee mugs, and others for more detailed sculptures. There's a 6-week process that students go through to transition from molding simple pottery to more advanced sculptures. Once students are comfortable using a spinning wheel, aspiring artists can choose to challenge themselves from creating a free-handed sculpture or more simply sticking to a traditional spinning method.
It's really kinetic. So your whole body is involved. What I think took me by surprise was that I left my first day of class and my back hurt and my hands hurt and my whole body was involved.
Mackenzie is a graduate of the SJSU art program. Others who have graduated from the same program have also been associated with Higher Fire. The art space is less than a mile away from SJSU and only a 12-minute walk. And that does it for arts and entertainment. So, do you think you'll be going to Christmas in the Park this year?
Absolutely. I can't wait to go with my family.
I am looking forward to the hot chocolate, especially with the snowman on top.
Yeah, I missed that.
And when we come back, Lavetta Jackson is here with sports.
San Jose State faced off against their rival Fresno State in their last game of the season. I'll have that story coming up next.
And we'll see how our esports teams are doing.
Update News will be back in a bit. Now we have Lavetta Jackson with sports.
Lavetta, that last game, especially going up against a team like Fresno State that was having a really good season.
Yeah, well, our football team is working very hard this season. Emotions were high as 15 seniors played their final game on the SJSU football team. However, for the second straight season, the Valley Trophy will remain with Fresno State. Alex Martinet had a chance to catch up with a couple of seniors to recap the season.
Last Saturday, San Jose State played their final game of the season against the rival Fresno State. In the second half, the Spartans were outscored by 27 points. The Spartans' inability to establish a running game hurt the team. SJSU failed to rush for 1,000 yards as a team in 2018.
It's still not good enough. We need to play better. We need to coach better. We need to, take a huge jump this offseason.
With the loss against Fresno State, San Jose State's record this season is 1-11, last in the Mountain West.
Herbert under pressure, and he is sacked. Bryson Bridges with the sack for San Jose State.
This week, senior defensive lineman Bryce Bridges was named second-team defense in the Mountain West Conference. Bridges believes the team is 1 year away from competing in the bowl season or even winning the Mountain West Championship.
I think with this young team, with this young talent, the guys coming in, I think that they get the job done.
Senior cornerback Takari Monroe was named first-team defense in the Mountain West Conference. With this award and the season over, he's going to start preparing for the NFL draft in April.
Just kind of let my body rest right now for these next couple of weeks, but then go on and just start to train and stuff like that for pro day. Hopefully get a shot.
Coach Brent Brennan says more work needs to be done during the offseason. In San Jose, Alex Martinet, Update News.
Among the SJSU sports team excelling this season are SJSU's various esports. The League of Legends, Counter-Strike, and Overwatch teams are all performing exceptionally in their inaugural seasons with university recognition. Jonas Elam shows us more.
All of SJSU's esports teams are boasting very positive records in various tournaments. The school's team for Counter-Strike, a popular first-person shooter, is its most historically dominant. The team is currently 4-1 in its season with the final match this weekend.
We've met expectations, but there's still plenty more things to work on, such as individual play and team play.
Collegiate esports have a number of tournaments and leagues throughout the year. Esports at SJSU participates in League of Legends, Counter-Strike, and Overwatch tournaments organized by AVGL, Collegiate Star League, and TESPA.
The first semester for our club has been going pretty well. It's pre-season for basically every team involved. So there has been some bumps in the roads as we've gone through it, but that was pretty much expected since it's the first semester. And we believe next semester for the real season, it should be good to go.
The main seasons for esports take place in the spring, with the fall being primarily for pre-seasons and smaller tournaments.
He has no ult. He'll just get kited.
I think one key obstacle showed up in our first and only loss so far, which was against SFU. We were missing one of our key players, Omniscient, which is pretty much kind of like a second IGL of the team.
The school's League of Legends team will be participating in ULOL, the premier collegiate league tournament, in the spring. During the fall, they participated in Collegiate Star League, a smaller tournament where they finished 6-1, securing a spot in the playoffs. SJSU Overwatch is currently 9-3 in the preseason, and the players are optimistic about the tournament next semester.
We've moved in 2 new players to the roster, and it's not really an obstacle, but it's something we've been trying to work around.
Sure.
All of the teams are currently recruiting, so new players are likely to join the various teams for the spring semester.
The Spartan men's basketball team is trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. They hosted Larry Bird's alma mater, Indiana State, Wednesday night. Luke Johnson has the game recap.
It's early in the season, but the 1-5 Spartans are still searching for their first win against a Division I opponent. The Sycamores are 3-1 heading into the game and appear to be the favorite. However, they are without their leading scorer, Jordan Barnes, who is averaging 20 points per game.
Well, first, we don't think about their best player or not. We just play the games.
In the absence of Barnes, Indiana State sophomore Clayton Hughes had a career night with 23 points. He made 9 of 10 shots from the field, which broke a school record for shooting percentage with a minimum of 10 attempts that was set back in 1965. This helped the Sycamores coast to an 86-57 victory.
We have to come out with the energy that you need to win a game. You have to want the game more than the other team, and we've come out 2 lackadaisical the past 6 games.
As a team, the Spartans shot 30% from the field for their 6th consecutive loss.
The Spartans will play in Northern California for the rest of December. Their next game is on Thursday at home against Bethune-Cookman. Luke Johnson on campus, Update News.
And that's all I have for sports. I really hope our basketball team pulls through. Aren't we all looking forward for a win next game?
Definitely.
Yeah, it looks like they have tough competition, but I think they can pull through.
Yeah.
And that does it for this week's edition of Update News.
From all of us here, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.